wonderful morning to you, our esteemed viewers on esteemed Radio Vision. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the CONFAB. Yes, we are located at Obokun Avenue. Yes, Transformers Junction, Ilesha, Ocean State. Please drop a comment there. We are really waiting for you to leave a comment. Join us in this discussion. This is the CONFAB, where we discuss trending political issues. Issues in our nation. We are here to analyze it. We are here to dissect it. Yes, and I am Chidima Abel. And I'm not alone. I have some analysts with me that will be looking at this headlines together. We have very interesting headlines this morning. Looking at us, we have the operatives of the intelligence response team that just arrested some group of bandits that are involved in supplying arms and illicit drugs in Nigeria. Now they have been arrested. So we are going to look at this together. We also have the NSC going for nationwide strike. So these are the two headlines that we'll be looking at this morning. Like I said, I am Chidima Abel, and I have
Ajiboye.
Ohunayo Ajiboye. Welcome to the show this morning.
Thanks for having me.
And also,
presenter.
Thank you so much. And I also have Ayomikun. Ayomikun, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, Chidima.
Okay, you can call me Jane. There's no problem with that. Yes, I'm also Jane, but I love to go with the name Chidima Abel. So thank you so much, Ayomikun, for joining us on the show. And also thank you, Ajiboye. I'm so pleased to have you two on the studio with me this morning. So our esteemed viewers, I need you to just join us in this discussion because I know you are going to learn a lot from this. And don't forget to leave a comment for us in the comment section. Yes, this is the CONFAB, where we look at top political issues as it affects our national interests. Now, going straight to the very first headline we're having here, the operatives of the intelligence response team of the Nigeria Police Force have arrested suspects reportedly involved in supplying arms and illicit drugs to bandits. This is really strange. These bandits are operating across parts of the country. Thanks to God, they have been arrested, as we have in this headline. Now, the arrest was disclosed on Tuesday during a press briefing by the police relations officer, the force public relations officer, that is in the person of CSP Benjamin Hundein in Abuja. Hundein said, operative of the IRT, that is Intelligence Response Team of the Nigerian Police Force, arrested two suspected arms suppliers. John Maga, 45, a 45-year-old John Maga, and another one is Shaya Stephen, 43, during an ongoing investigation. He said Maga was identified as a local gun fabricator. This is even the interesting part of it. A local gun fabricator. He fabricates this gun. He facilitated the sales of arms and ammunition to bandits. So this is what we are looking at this morning. I don't know if you are surprised as I am. Are you, Ajiboye?
For the first time, I'm going to say that our police force, the Nigerian police force, is very, very proactive this time, and I like that, and I hope they keep it up.
Wow, that's a commendation going to the police. I know people are not really used to, praising this place, but then, thanks to God, at least we have somebody commending them for a job well done. Okay, now, I want to start with you, Ajiboye. I want to start with you. From a security perspective, how significant is this arrest? I needed to just hold on. I know you are really ready to dish it out to our timid listener. Now, from a security perspective now, how significant is this arrest, the arrest of these suspected arms and drug suppliers to bandits? Because this is not the first time we've been hearing things like this. Yes, we have heard of things like this over and over, how they were arrested, how many were arrested, and so on. Now, what is the significance of this arrest?
Well, thank you very much, Chidima. Concerning this arrest, once again, I must commend the Nigerian police force, especially the IRT, the intelligence response team, for what they've done. And like I said before, I hope they keep it up. It's a welcome innovation from them, because this is the first time, you know, that the police have been, it's not the first time, but like this is one of the major times you've seen the police being proactive in this kind of cases. You know, so the security significance from a security perspective, the truth is when you arrest the arms dealer or drug suppliers to bandits, what you have done definitely is that you have cut them off. You know, when they no longer have access to arms, nobody can supply them with arms, then you've cut off basically the head of the snake, not the tail. Because when you arrest members of the bandits, they still have other members, they still have people funding them. But when you take out the top guns, the suppliers, when you take that out, you have cut them off. After all, in the heart of war, one of the basic maneuvers and strategies in war is that you cut off the enemy's supply. When you cut off their supplies, you have cut off their strength. So from
you just like what you're saying is just like taking a tool from a farmer. You have completely, you know, incapacitated the farmer.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Ayomikun, from your own perspective, how significant is this arrest?
Okay. Thank you, Chidima. You see, you know, yesterday I was still commending the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You know, for him to have a how is it called? To have a disclosure meeting with the
Service chiefs.
Yes, the defensive minister. You know, I was still commending him that that is one, you know, probably one strategy that he can use to eradicate the banditry that we and the oppressors that we have in the country. You see, now that the major arms suppliers of for the bandit people, they have been arrested. You know, I feel that that's a good thing, because like what Ajiboye said, that once they don't have access to weapon, once their ammunition starts running out, their bullets, what they use, you know, for wars and aside for war, for their attack, once it is one is being reduced, there will be less attacks on people. Number one, there will be less attacks on people, and then it's going to curb them on some certain things that they can do. And you know,
it's going to limit.
Yes, it's going to limit their attack. In the sense that you can't expect someone that is heavily loaded, and he went to a church organization or a mosque to, you know, for the purpose of kidnapping. But now that you are not fully loaded and probably everything in your inside your the guns and the machines that you want to use is limited, there's no way you number one, you fidget. You'll be scared of, oh, what if the security operatives, what if they are around, what do we have, you know, to face them? So they won't have that they won't have that sense that they have that sense that let us limit what we are doing for now. You know, let's maybe if we used to go out 7 times in 2 weeks, they cannot limit it to maybe two times in 2 times. That can make our security operatives and our security agents, you know, to strategize and to get to the root of the banditry that we have in the country.
Okay, thank you so much, Ayomikun. But then there is still something that is bothering a lot of Nigerians. And personally, I have come across a lot of people asking questions like, how come? I mean, how can an ordinary bandit, you know, acquire such kind of ammunitions you see them carrying all about? Where did they get the money? How were they even able to, you know, have such things in their possession? Because we know that some of these things are very, very expensive. So ordinarily, we don't expect a bandit to own or to be in possession of such an expensive ammunition. So what does this arrest tell us about how bandits are getting weapons and illicit drugs in Nigeria?
You know,
what does this arrest tell us about how these bandits are getting these weapons and illicit drugs in Nigeria to fuel all the attacks?
You know, yesterday he said it that there are people sponsoring these bandits, and don't let us.
You said so,
No,
and
there is.
allegedly.
I'm not saying allegedly, because it is very, very open that there are people sponsoring. It's not that I make mention of a name, that okay, this person is the person sponsoring. I said there are people sponsoring, and of which every Nigerian knows that there are people sponsoring these bandits.
Okay, you're still standing on
Yes.
That's your opinion.
There are
No
people,
going back.
There are people sponsoring the bandits, because you can't expect someone that has been living that is living all through his life inside the bush to have access to know how to fly a drone, to make use of drone to attack people. So that's what there are people that are sponsoring them. There are people that gives them knowledge on how to use these certain things. You see, the issue of them, like I said, people sponsor them, and then when they sponsor them, you can imagine now, they used to say that, oh, if they kidnap one person, they the minimum ransom they ask for that person is 50 to 100 million. That's the limit they ask. Now, imagine, and then look at.
So are you saying that the money?
No, wait. Look at the way they live. Can those people? Sorry, I don't want us to keep using the bandits. The bandit is just a group of criminal people. It's not like a tribe. It's a group of criminal. They are a group of criminal people. Even bandits can consist of the Yorubas, Igbos, and the Hausas. Anybody can be a bandit. So bandit is they are a group of criminal people. You understand? So what I'm saying now, that the money they ask as ransom.
That's the ransom, yes.
The ransom money that they ask for 50 million, 100 million per person that they kidnap. Look at the way they live their life. Can some people like that, you are supposed to expect them, to be wearing best of things. They are supposed to imagine now, if these bandits, they enter into a local area, the minimum people they used to abduct and they kidnap, they are over 30 to 50 people. Now imagine one person, they ask for 100 million ransom per person. Imagine, calculate that. That's over.
Okay,
like,
you say they get
billion.
their money
So
from the kidnapping.
Yes. So
okay.
Imagine now. So those people sponsoring them, they know how to. They will give them money to fuel what they have normally in their heart. You understand? They will give them money to fuel it up for them, and then with the money, the ransom money they collect from people, from the government, because majorly is the government they ask to pay for the ransom. The money they collect from the government, now they cannot sit down and split that, okay, this certain percentage will go for us. This certain percentage can be probably to supply.
Okay, let me hear. Sorry to come in. Let me hear from Ajiboye.
Well, if I'm going to take over this discussion, I'm still going to have to agree with him, because basically what you have asked now is that what does this arrest tell us about how the bandits are getting
the weapons and illicit drugs?
The truth of the matter is just what he has said. They have sponsors, and when the sponsors sponsor them, there must be returns. It's like there's an investment, and when you
it's like a 50-50, right?
There must be a return on investment. So when these bandits are being sponsored, these insurgents, like he said, is not one set of people, it's not a particular tribe, it's a group of criminals coming together. So what Nigerians have failed to understand is that this thing is purely criminal business. It's a criminal enterprise. And I'm going to use a quote from one of my favorite political thrillers. It says, "Follow the money and all threads will unravel." Basically, the base of it is still money. It's still money. This is a business for these people. We don't know who they are. We can't mention them, but it is an open information now that these people are being sponsored. And the sponsors, nobody ever puts their money into something without a certain expectation of return on investment, whether criminal enterprise or legal enterprise. So what it boils down to is the fact that what we are seeing now is that there are people behind this, and it's a business for them. like you said, these kidnappers, when they kidnap, they ask for 100 million naira ransom, 50 million naira ransom. Though that might not be the amount they get at the end of the day. But by the time you look at the number of kidnappings on a day-by-day basis, week-by-week basis, month-by-month basis, you see that these people they are getting big money.
They have accumulated so much.
But how are they living? They live so frugally. In fact, the chief negotiator of between the government and the abductors, Sheikh Gumi, you know, there was something he said that I saw recently online, and it kind of made me angry internally. And he said, no, look at our bandits. These people, they are just fighting to survive, you know. Look at them. They don't eat well. They don't dress well. They don't. So you cannot say that they are wicked. And I'm like, what is this guy saying? What is this man saying? They don't live well. They don't. Of course, they won't live well because the money that they are collecting is going somewhere. So I think that if it is to curb these people, then we have to track the money. Where's the money going? And it will shock you. You know, it will.
Okay,
will be
talking about sorry, about tracking these people. You did mention Sheikh Gumi, right?
Yes.
He said something like, let these people, let the government negotiate with the bandits instead of the other means the government have been using it to tackle them. He said the only way out is negotiation. So I want you to, how do you see that?
You see, there's nothing like negotiating with criminals. Criminal is criminal. A criminal is a criminal.
Okay.
Like for instance, let us use the issue of IPOB leader, a person of
Nnamdi Kanu.
Now, is allegedly they said he's a terrorist, but then what was found on him was just his Versace shirt, a microphone.
Okay.
And probably, you know, that's the only thing that he has, and they call him a terrorist.
A terrorist.
But then we see day by day these people carrying ammunition. Now, for this Nnamdi Kanu, he has been sentenced into life imprisonment based on, you know, he's a terrorist. Now, these bandits they are talking about, we see them with ammunition, we see them with high sophisticated weapons. You know, even weapons that our Nigerian army, our Nigerian defense, they don't have access to. We see the weapons with them, and then the federal negotiator is now saying that we need to, you know, we need to negotiate with the bandits so that the bandits can tell the government what they want. Who does that in the same country? Is, you know, is unwise to, you know, so it's very unwise to, you know, to negotiate with criminals. A criminal is a criminal. A criminal must know his place.
Okay, now one more question before we wrap up this particular segment. Thus, before we move to the next topic,
Okay.
you know, the police mentioned a local gun fabricator. How common is local arms fabrication in fueling insecurity across the country? I needed to get a question. The police mentioned a local gun fabricator. Now, how common is local arms fabrication in fueling insecurity across the country? Because if you look at it, it's as though we have a set of local gun fabricators. And it negates what you two have been saying, that there are people fueling it, there are people funding the arms.
Okay.
Now, what this is saying now is that we have another set of people who are just, you know, fabricating these guns. So how do you see it? How do you marry these two together? I want to start with you, Ajiboye.
Well, Chidima, thank you for making that observation. But the two don't really negate each other. In fact, they buttress each other, if I may say.
Okay.
So, local gun fabricators, where are they getting everything they are using? The resources they are using to fabricate guns. The only thing is when they fabricate these weapons, these ammunitions locally, it is harder to trace. Because when the sponsors, when they bring in foreign weapons, let's say American-made weapons, Israeli-made weapons, those weapons have serial numbers, they have trackers. You know, you can track their entrance into the country, how they went into the country. I think it's one of the problems when the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, was trying to secure ammunition to fight against Boko Haram back then, and, you know, he tried to use the black market. It was easy to trace because there's a, you know, they could establish a line. A link. But you know, when this thing is made, when we fabricate these things locally, they fabricate them inside forest, you know, deep inside the forest. They choose very remote locations that, due to our level of technological advancement in the country, they can't be easily tracked or located yet. So I believe that it does not negate the former point that these people are being sponsored, and, you know, they are using the money they get from the ransom to fund their insurgency. What this simply means is that rural and forest bordering communities in Nigeria have to be, what word should we use again? They have to be monitored more. You know, they have to be monitored more because the local fabrications, they take place in such communities.
So it is just strategic, using such
strategic,
locations.
exactly.
Okay. Okay, Ayomikun, now over to you.
You see, about the local gun fabricator, there's no way the sponsors too can, go outside the country to get weapons for them. It is easily, they can easily track them. Because every weapon, they has their serial number and, there's the document that they are always on it. So, they can't, and those people that fabricate guns, you can imagine, they are high sophisticated people that they know more on how they can, make this weapon. They can make this weapon.
It's not something anybody can just wake up and do.
So they are going to take people that are well trained on how they can get this. So like I said, kudos to the Nigerian police force, for arresting one of the some of them, yeah.
Okay, now we will just move over to the next headline here, talking about the NSC planned protest. Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has raised an alarm over what it described as a clandestine plot by unscrupulous agencies and political hirelings to infiltrate and violently disrupt its planned National Day of Protest and mourning scheduled for today. Now, the Labour Center warned that any attack on peaceful protesters, note that word, any attack on peaceful protesters would be regarded as an act of terrorism and could trigger an immediate, comprehensive and indefinite nationwide strike capable of shutting down the country's economy. Now, in a statement by its acting general secretary, Benson Opa, the NSC said it has received a credible and disturbing intelligence pointing to plans to use armed thugs to attack workers and other citizens participating in the protest. Now, the NSA, we all know, have been going on, series of strikes in the past. Now, this is another one. How do you say this thing? From your analysis, what is the significance of NSC's planned National Day of Protest and mourning being today? Ayomikun.
You see, NSC, they have the right to protest. Like every Nigerian has the right to protest. You see, it's already in the constitutional right of Nigeria, or as a Nigerian, sorry. For you can protest, but it's not just protest, and you can use that to disturb other people, going for their business and everything, or you use that to disrupt the peace of the country. Everybody has the right for peaceful protest. Protest is just a way of communicating to the government that, okay, these are the things they've promised us, and you are not fulfilling them. So we are here to remind you of your promise. So just make sure you fulfill your promise, and then you can get the best out of us. Now, I like
Oh, sorry to cut you short. You said protest is the only way of communicating to the government. Is that the only way or among the ways?
No, it's among the. I'm not saying the only way. I said this is one of the ways of telling the government of what they what they want, and what the government is not fulfilling at that particular moment. You see, I like the fact of what they said, that if any attack on the peaceful protest, is going to sound as terrorism. Definitely, that's how it should be, and it must be signed by both the NSC and the federal government. In as much as I'm doing my own part that this protest is going to be a very peaceful one, you too should do your own part to protect us as protesters, because that's one of the duties that you are supposed to do as a government, to protect the interests of protesters.
All right, yes. Thank you. Ajiboye, talking about protests, is protest the only language the government understands? Does it mean the NSC cannot come up with any other means of communicating to the government aside protest?
Well, in theory, in theory, there are other means.
Okay.
You know, the NLC could lobby with the government, the NLC could debate the government, but in practice, because this is Nigeria. And what that means is, the truth is the NLC has tried. They've tried dialoguing the government. They've tried lobbying with the government. They've tried negotiating with the government. And it's as if no matter what, the government will make the promise. And, you know, they promise, okay, we are listening. We have listened to your grievances. We are going to address them. They'll placate them for a while. And then everything goes back to default settings again. So it's not like the NLC no longer has a choice. Nigerians in general no longer have a choice but to come out and protest. So that's what I'll say on that matter.
Okay. Now, the NSC claims it has received credible intelligence report about plans to disrupt this protest. How seriously should Nigerians take this warning? Ayomikun, how seriously should Nigerians take this warning?
There's no protest that will happen in the country. Yeah, a major protest that will happen in the country, that there won't be aftermath of it. Imagine the case of Lekki Toll Gate, October 10, 2020. There was a lot of massacre, and of course the Lai Muhammad, which already lied to on the national TV, which says that the soldiers there, they are using blank bullets, and they said that none of the family of those that we the youth claimed that were massacred during the Lekki Toll Gate came out that, oh, one of their relatives was massacred. That was even by the way, like I was saying, there's no huge protest, there's no major protest that will happen in this country that there won't be, you know, aftermath
after
of
effects.
it. Imagine the case of this free Nnamdi Kanu too. There was aftermath on it. Now, maybe those are the reasons that, okay, they've thought about it, that, okay, now this one too is going to be a major one. Definitely, let us just use that to tell the government that any attempt on you, you know, to disrupt the protest, then it's going to lead to a very, very huge thing that the government does not even want to, like, you know, they said they are going to shut down the Nigerian economy. And if NSC has the power, they have the right to shut down the Nigerian economy. So if the government just have to take to what they want, and, you know, to protect the interest of the protesters.
Okay, so do you think, Ajiboye, that having said this, that Nigerians will be free to come out to protest?
Well, about Nigerians being free to come out to protest.
With the potential threat already?
With the potential threat already, I'm afraid to say it, but the truth is most people would not want to come out with the threat already, because it's not today, it's not yesterday, it's not once, it's not twice. You know, the adage says, beat me once, shame on me. You know, fool me twice. No, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yes.
So the truth is, we've seen it different times over and over. Nigerians will come out for peaceful protest, and then suddenly thugs will come to disrupt the protest. If thugs are not coming to disrupt the protest, the police force that's supposed to be there to guard the protesters, to ensure that the protesters, while exercising their civil rights, because it's our civil rights to protest if we feel the government is not doing well, while exercising their civil right, the police is supposed to guard them and monitor and make sure that everything is going according to order. There should be orderliness. But you discover that what we hear on the news is that the police attacked peaceful protesters. Who is giving the order?
Yes.
So now we find ourselves in a situation where there are threats to peaceful protesters. We find ourselves in a situation where there's a state where state power is being used on protesters to discourage them from protesting from their rights. So I'm not afraid to say that in view of this threat, it might be possible that Nigerians are already discouraged. They don't want to come out anymore.
Okay, now talking about talks, using talks. And, you know, allegedly, it was said that it was believed that during the NSAS protest, at some point, they were divided. I mean, the youth of Nigerians. So some talks came in among them. Allegedly, it was said the government used talks to disperse them. Now, we are not seeing something like this again in this planned protest. What does the alleged involvement of armed talks and political hirelings suggest about the current political state of Nigeria? I mean, the alleged involvement. You know, the NSC said they are likely to use talks. So what does this alleged involvement of armed talks and political hirelings suggest about the current political climate,
Well, I would
Ajiboye?
like to comment on that and say that means that Nigeria now has gotten to a climate where political interests supersedes the nation's interests. That's what it means. Because who sponsors the stocks? We know who sponsors them. Okay, I'm going to borrow your word. Allegedly, we know who sponsor them allegedly. And we know that there are, you know, powerful people in positions of governance, in positions of power, who don't want a protest, because when the protest starts, what happens is that it opens up a lot of cankerworms. Because when protest starts and the government gives an ear to the, you know, for example, you have workers protesting, they have not been paid, you have a lot of things, we want a restructuring and this, it opens up a lot. And then there are some people in power who don't want that, they don't want their case opened. You know, they don't want their failures broadcasted for the whole wide world to see. And the best way to protect their own interest, their own political interest, is to make sure that that protest does not hold or that protest is disrupted. And then they use these thugs. So what we have found ourselves in is a climate where political interest now supersedes national interest. And that is what happens. That's what brings about this use of thugs and disruptions and, you know, turning a peaceful protest into something else.
Okay, you know, it is believed that there is no problem without a solution. Now, let's look at the way forward. What steps can be taken, Ayomikun, to ensure the protest remains peaceful and free from violence?
Yeah, you see, like what the NSC tried to say that, okay, like, okay, I think I've even given that answer already, that there should be like a meeting between the NSC and the federal government. Okay, let us there. We are going to go on our protest. It is our right. We are going to go on our protest. But then it will be on the documents. If you plan, you know, to disrupt our protest, then we can do this to you. Both parties are going to sign. So it's going to serve as evidence that
It's going to be an accord between the government and the NLC.
So it's going to be like an evidence in case anything happens that, okay, well, we've already said this and the government did not fulfill their part on this part, on the part of documents. So there should, before any protest, there should be a dialogue between these people that want to protest and those in power of what they want to protest for. So there should be a dialogue in case of there will be any mishap that that is going to happen later during the protest.
Okay, thank you so much. Ajiboye, what message would you give to Nigerians who may want to participate in the protest? What message?
Well, my message to Nigerians who want to participate in the protest is that you have every right to protest. It is your right to protest, and it is your civil right, it's your civic duty as a citizen of this country to stand up and tell the government, tell the truth to power when the government is not behaving, when the government is failing, that they are failing. It's your civil right, but at the same time, as you exercise this right, also remember that as it's your right to protest, it's also your right to ensure that you do not damage public property, you do not damage private property, and that the protest does not de-escalate into a riot.
Okay, with emphasis on peaceful protest. Okay, thank you so much. I'm really excited this morning having you too. Thank you so much. So what's your passing message, your parting remark, Ayomikun, to our viewers?
Yeah, my personal remark is on the issue of the bandits. I think the way the federal government, they are planning to to eradicate the banditry in the country. I think I will want to suggest to you that they should keep having private meetings, not meetings that that's going to make round in public. That these are the operations we want, because in all honesty, if people already know that, oh, these people are going for this, the what's it called, the issue of them not how am I going to put it, the issue of them of the police arresting those that are in power, those that are supplying the arms, the ammunitions for them. It will not happen.
To be impossible, okay.
Yeah, it will be possible if it is made public. So I like as they are making it private. So they should keep making things private, so they can solve everything, all the banditries and all the shenanigans that we have in the country.
Okay, thank you. Ajiboye, what's your pattern remark?
Well, I'm going to be remarking on both segments this morning. For example, the first one I'll start with is on the security perspective. arresting the suspects involved in the supply of arms and illicit drugs by the operatives of the Intelligence Response Team of Nigeria. What I want to say is that the police force should keep it up, the government should keep it up. Like Ayomikun said, there's no need for the public to know what the government's plan is. What we want to see are results, and this is a result, and I hope they keep it up, because when they keep it up, the public will develop trust in the government, the public will develop trust in the security forces of the nation, and that trust that they will develop is something that is missing right now. So if they keep up this good work, definitely that trust will come back. And on the second one with the NLC, I believe the government needs to take that report seriously. The government needs to work hand in hand with the NLC, allow the people protest. It is their right to protest, and at the same time the NLC also needs to caution their people, because definitely, you know, when it comes to a protest, when it comes to airing your grievances, sometimes emotions can run high, emotions can be manipulated. Don't allow yourself to be manipulated out there. You're fighting for your right. Don't allow yourself to be used as tools of destruction, to be used as tools of disruptive actions in the country. And I wish also, you know, a very great day.
Thank you so much, Ajiboye, and my special appreciation also goes to Ayomikun. Thank you so much for making yourself available for the CONFAB. This is where we'll be drawing the curtain today on the CONFAB. But don't forget, this program will still be coming your way again tomorrow. Yes, we'll be coming your way again tomorrow. And it is the CONFAB, where we discuss top political stories, happenings in Nigeria. We are here to dissect it, and I encourage you to join us on the show. Leave a comment for us on our Facebook page, Esteem Radio Vision. We are still Esteem Radio Vision, located at Obokun Avenue, Ilesha, Osun State. I am Chidinma Abel, and I also want to show my appreciation to our director in the person of Michael Ashaolu Adeboye. Thank you so much, sir, for all you are doing for this great community, and most especially for the station, Esteem Radio Vision. Thank you so much for what you are doing. We appreciate you. And now, again, to my esteemed producer, thank you, Afolabi Adenipeko. Until we come your way again, I still remain Chidinma Abel. Good morning.